welcome to another Red Vested approved video.
Hello everyone and welcome. It's Chef Jason Morse, your Ace Hardware grill expert, and we're back here again at our world famous cooking greenhouse in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. We love this greenhouse because it gives us the ability to cook inside, but we open up the roof, turn on the fans, no smoke buildup, just a wonderful place to cook here in the middle of winter in Colorado. Well, you heard Allison say we're back for another Red Vest approved video, and this time we have Chef Jay's Jambalaya. We kicked it up pretty solid on this guy. We're gonna use a little bit of our bayou dust, but the cool part of this is we're going on the grill today. We're gonna cook in our Lodge cast iron Dutch oven, in our big green egg. We've got a lot of cool stuff for you. So welcome to another YouTube video. Be sure to spread the word, tell your friends. This is definitely a channel you want to subscribe to. I heard a rumor, we have 20 plus videos coming up this year on YouTube. That is definitely something not to miss out. If you're wondering where you can grab the recipe, hey, go to acehardware.com/tips and advice, and there's a little link up top. Click that tips and advice and download all of our recipes. If you type in the search bar recipes, you will find the Chef Jay's Jambalaya, and a lot more. So hey, we're excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this Red Vest video. Let's do a food flyover and get cooking. One of the things we always love is to give you a fun little food flyover that gives us a chance to kind of show you the recipe, show you our setup, and help you appreciate this beautiful mise en place that we've got set up here. We did a couple cool things for you today, right? We left the tomatoes in the can because we want to show you these guys. Anytime you hear us talk about tomatoes, we love these guys here. Fire roasted, they are gorgeous. And what do we have? Well, we have a little chicken stock today. We like the chicken stock versus a chicken broth because stock is made from bones, vegetables, gives us a much better, smoother flavor. We're gonna cook with our bayou dust today. And for the Italian herbs that we're gonna use a little bit of our fishy, a wonderful herb blend. We're talking hot sauce. You can make this thing as hot or as mild as you want. We like Tapatio, plays really good. We also like our fire salt. Throw a little bit of that in there for you as well. We've got tomatoes, we'll go up over the top here. We have some thick applewood bacon. Look at that, we have tasso ham, a nice spicy ham, some beautiful andouille, some diced chicken thighs, about 1-inch cubes, and then this is what they call the Trinity. That is celery, white onion, green pepper. That's a staple in a lot of Cajun cooking, and we definitely love that as well. Builds a lot of flavor. We're cooking on our Epicurean board as well. We have some garlic, some bay leaves, a lot of cool stuff, so I think we should probably get cooking. All right, well, one of the things we get a lot is, do we use squeeze tube garlic? Do we use granulated garlic or fresh garlic? Well, I'll tell you what, I love the squeeze tube garlic. Super easy to use. It works great. But let me show you a fun little tip on this guy. So this is just a fresh clove of garlic. We cut off the little stalk end on it. And then what we're gonna do to help this smash up faster, I put the blade side away from my knife and I just give it a nice little smash. And look at that. I am into minced chopped garlic in seconds. Okay, we talked about mincing the garlic, gave you an easy tip for that, and I wanted to give you just a quick tip on the celery and a quick tip on our green peppers. So here's the celery that we have diced, and you can see it's pretty rough diced. I mean, it still looks really nice, and we have the leaves in there. Well, I left the leaves in there because I really like how they taste. And one of the ways I diced this was I just split the celery, the stalk right down the middle. Like I said, I leave the leaves on there as well because I like that flavor. And then I'm gonna use my hands to kind of pinch this together, and then I'm just gonna go through here and give it a rough chop. Nothing too spectacular. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for a nice small piece of celery. And again, I like to keep kind of all of my ingredients. You guys know that. I like to keep them the same size so they eat well. I think you've seen our pepper trick before, but we split the pepper in half, we pulled out all the insides, and now we're gonna hold it and then just cut it into strips. And then once we have it into strips, we're gonna go ahead and just rough chop this as well into some nice diced green peppers. So quick and easy that way, all right? So that's our nice little bit of peppers. Next up, we have an onion. Well, I've seen a lot of different ways to cut an onion, and you hear people say, how do I cut it so it doesn't make me cry? I will tell you what, I have been a chef for 30 years, and onions make me cry no matter what I try. So what we like to do here is we'll just cut this end off, right? We're gonna cut this end off. We'll get this guy pulled to the side, and then I split it right down the middle, all right? I peel that top layer off, I get that all cleaned up, and then what I'm gonna do is, following the curve of the onion, I'm gonna make slices into it with the tip of my knife, like so. I get those sliced in there real nice and neat. I follow the curve, and then again, just holding the onion real tight and a nice sharp knife, I get in there and I give it a good chop. When I get to the end, I turn it and give it a chop that way. But there you can see, we've got the Trinity all ready to go for our jambalaya. Super easy skills. You don't have to rush. You don't have to go fast. We're not having a contest. Take your time, be safe. There's some quick chopping tips for you. Next up, we're gonna show you how we loaded this guy into the big green egg. So the cool thing here, we're using this cast iron Dutch oven. This is how we're cooking today. We're cooking in the big green egg. So the beauty is, hey, guess what? If I want to layer some wood chunks in there, now all of a sudden I have some hearty, solid wood chunks to put in there. Use pecan, use maple, use apple. We put some suggestions in the recipe as well. But the beauty here is now we get a robust charcoal flavor into our jambalaya. So let's close this. We'll grab all of our mise en place and we'll get cooking. So we gave it about 10 minutes to heat up at 500 degrees, and what we're trying to do is get a beautiful hot sear. We're gonna add our bacon in there and let our bacon render a little bit of fat. And as you can see, we're gonna use this big green egg and the cast iron as our cooking tool today. So we'll leave the lid off, we'll probably leave the lid open, and we wanna get that bacon rendered off really nice. And once we see that, we're gonna add our tasso ham to that. We're gonna add our andouille sausage, and we're gonna cook this until it starts to brown just a little bit. All right, then we're gonna add our chicken, and now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and cook this until we see the chicken and the sausage start to brown. Wow, that smells so good. We'll come back in just a minute and catch up on this, but you can kind of see a little bit of the start of what we're looking for. We're getting a little bit of brown on our sausage, and that's what we want. We want this chicken to be fully cooked. We want the sausage to render some of that fat. This is beautiful. So we'll let that go for just a couple minutes, and we'll give it a little bit of stir. You can see that fat is rendered off. And here is kind of where I look at this recipe for a couple visual cues. I'm looking to see just how fast everything is cooking. And I'm noticing, you know what, it's taking a little bit longer than I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut the lid on my big green egg so I can build up a lot of heat in there and get this thing cooking. Because again, we wanna make sure we're cooking safe food. We wanna make sure we get that chicken cooked before we add any of our vegetables and any of our seasonings as well. Okay, there we go. That's exactly what we were looking for. That chicken started to cook a little bit more. And now I'm just gonna saute this. I really want that andouille flavor, that tasso ham, a lot of that flavor to really soak into that chicken. Now, a couple real quick tips for you. If you're sitting here looking at this thinking, wow, I could do that on my Weber kettle. Yes, you can, absolutely. This works great on a Weber kettle, works great on the big green egg, works great on any Kamado style. We need something that's gonna get hot, hot, hot. So we look for anything that can get about 500 degrees. But now, if you're looking at this thinking, wow, this is a great time to add some smoke flavor. Yes, definitely. We put a couple ideas on there for you, like maybe layering some pecan wood chunks in here to really build up a hearty, robust smoke flavor. That will take this jambalaya to like all new levels. So, okay, once everything is sauteed, now we're gonna add the Trinity. We're gonna add our green peppers. We're gonna add our white onion. We're gonna add our celery with the leaves, right? And then we're gonna add our garlic as well. And I just have that on the tip of my knife. Now, we'll get this sauteed. And we just wanna make sure that the Trinity gets softened a little bit. We're not looking for any color on it. We're not looking for it to get anything crazy. We're really just looking for about a 5-minute quick saute so that the Trinity softens up. And the cool thing about this recipe, and I think we've said about a lot of our recipes, use them as a guideline. If you want to add shrimp to this, or you want to add crab meat or something of that, alter this recipe to make it your own. We're giving you a really good base recipe, we think, that will produce a lot of flavor for you and give you a gorgeous jambalaya. And again, if you want to alternate tomatoes, you want more crushed or more diced, do that as well. All right, look at that. So the veggies are soft. We're good in a good spot there. We like what we have. We're now gonna add our bayou dust. So again, the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, and I'm gonna add 1 little tablespoon there and 1 little tablespoon there. But feel free to adjust the seasoning as much or as little as you want. Again, making this recipe yours. We're gonna add a little bit of our Italian herbs, and that's our fishy. We're gonna put a little bit of that in there. We're gonna add our bay leaves in as well. And then I thought we'd kick it up just a tiny bit with a little bit of heat. So we're gonna add a little bit of fire salt. All right, we got all of our spices added in here, and we're gonna stir them up a little bit, give them a good little mix. Make sure those guys get in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of hot sauce. Not a lot. I don't want this to be too crazy, but I definitely love a little cayenne in my jambalaya. So we're gonna add a little cayenne, and you add as much or as little as you like. Then we're gonna go ahead and add our tomato products. We're gonna add the diced, and we're gonna go ahead and add the crushed. We've got our bay leaves already in there. We're gonna add a little bit of our chicken stock, and I say 2 to 4 cups. So we're gonna start with 2, and we're gonna see where that gets us. In the meantime, what I'm gonna do is close this, give it a chance for everything to come together. Then when I come back, we'll give it a stir and finish it up. Well, we opened it up. We let this sit closed for about 5-6 minutes. And what we have is this beautiful, wonderful jambalaya. So the reason I said 2 to 4 cups of chicken stock is you can choose really how thick or thin you want your jambalaya. If you want it a little more thick and saucy, add a little bit less stock. If you want it more soupy, add a little bit more stock. But I really like this consistency. I think this is the perfect jambalaya to put on top of some rice, or whatever else you choose, maybe some grits as well. So what we'll do here is we'll give this a test, and we're gonna taste it a little bit and just see how it tastes. And then the cool thing is, go ahead, if you want a little more heat, add more fire salt. If you need a little bit more seasoning, add some more of our Cajun bayou dust. A little more herb, add a little more fishy. You want a little bit more of that Tabasco flavor, add that in as well. So that's the beauty of this recipe. Adjust it how you want. So we'll come back, give this thing a test real quick, and taste it and see where we're at. And then we're gonna show you the final dish. We're gonna show you how we plate this up, and we're gonna serve it on a beautiful bed of rice, and we're gonna have just a fun, exciting little jambalaya for you. Okay, so we let this thing go for about 10 minutes covered, and look what happened here. This is beautiful. This is what we're looking for. One of the reasons I said, only add 2 to 4 cups of chicken stock, check it out. I like my jambalaya thick. I really like it hearty and stew-like. If you like it a little bit thinner or a little bit more soup-like, add more chicken stock. And then what we're gonna do now, let's give it a taste, and let's see where this is at. Wow, that is good flavor. It's got a nice little bit of heat at the very end. And honestly, I don't need to add anything else to this. Keep in mind, we've got salt coming out of the bacon. We have salt coming out of the ham. We have salt coming out of the andouille sausage. And there's salt in the tomatoes. So when you look overall at this, really let it cook for a while so that salt can come out before you go back at it and add any more seasonings to finish it. Honestly, I think the amount of seasonings and spices we call for in the recipe is perfect. The only thing I monkey around with a little bit is the heat. So when we come back, we're gonna take this guy off the big green egg, and we're gonna show you how to plate this on a bed of rice, because I really think jambalaya goes great with some rice, whether it's a white rice, whether it's a vegetable rice, or even some dirty rice. A really good serving option for you. So we'll be right back. We'll get this guy plated. So a couple different ways you can do this. You can choose to cook your rice in the jambalaya. You can cook your rice outside and mix it in your jambalaya, or you can serve the rice on the side with the jambalaya on top. I really like the jambalaya on top because the rice tends to suck up a lot of liquid, and I end up, I think, getting a little bit drier jambalaya. So here's what we do. I like to go right over the rice. And that right there is jambalaya. Doesn't get any better than that. Garnish it with some sauteed shrimp if you want, or a little bit of blue crab or she crab, or a little bit of she crab roe. This will make a Mardi Gras party at your house pretty awesome. This, in fact, will make any day at your house pretty awesome. Want to know how to get this Red Vest approved recipe? Head over to acehardware.com and you can download all of our recipes that we have landed there and waiting for your cooking excitement. Want to know how to get more videos? Want to know how to be notified when we've got another great Red Vest approved video? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us comments, ask questions, spread the word, and tell your friends. Our YouTube channel is going to be hot this year. 20 more videos coming for you to help all things grilling, barbecuing, smoking, and cooking. I'm Chef Jason Morris, your Ace Hardware grill expert. Thanks for joining us, and happy cooking.